Hi everyone! This week I'm just going to get straight into it. I've got quite a big topic to talk about. I'm quite excited about it. I have lots to say, so be warned. I'm going to go get my cup of tea and let's get started. Good, so I have my tea. I'm sporting my Hufflepuff mug. Oh yes. Don't judge me. I could talk for hours on why Hufflepuff is amazing. And I have my notes. I wrote them in felt tip pen today, just because, it looks good. And then I ran out of room, so I have like a whole bunch of stuff down here. Yes, as you can probably tell from the title of this video, I am going to be talking about Disney versus feminism. Yeah, I could write an essay. No, I couldn't. I don't write essays. So there's so much we can talk about here. My cousin Sally suggested it as one of my tea time thoughts, and actually the more I thought about it, the more I was like, wow, there is so much that could be said here. It requires a cup of tea. So I was thinking about talking about the sort of Disney princesses. They tend to have quite a main role in their films, but I'm not going to talk about the first three princesses: Snow White, Cinderella and Aurora, Sleeping Beauty, mostly because they were written in a time when women really didn't have a very fair role in society, or at least their role within society was to be a mother and a homemaker, which was fine for then. And actually, in terms of their role in the films, wasn't very pro-feminist or very healthy. If I was to dress up as the characters and sum up their role in the film in one sentence, I probably could.
The good fairies didn't manage to give me their third gift, but they gave me beauty and a lovely singing voice, and that's all that matters. I contribute literally nothing to my story. I rode off into the sunset with a man I'd never spoken a word to. And he kissed me when I was dead.
But what I am going to talk about, so I'm going to talk about the three Disney princesses that probably were most influential to my childhood. We have The Little Mermaid, Ariel, came out in 1989. Belle from Beauty and the Beast came out in 1991. And we have Pocahontas from Pocahontas, came out in 1995. There were two others that came out in the 90s, Mulan and Princess Jasmine from Aladdin. I'm not going to talk about them. Princess Jasmine because, well, the film's not called Jasmine, it's called Aladdin, and so she doesn't play such an important role in that film, which is fine. Mulan, I mean, it's a very, very feminist film, but the only reason I'm not talking about it is because literally the first time I watched it I was already an adult. I think I was about 16 or something. So for me personally, it wasn't such an influential film in terms of defining and shaping me as a person. And actually, once you narrow it down to those three princesses, it's really interesting because in a lot of ways their stories are quite similar. They have quite similar characters, so they're all fairly headstrong. They're quite independent women. They also have really quite a leading role in their film in the sense that they shape the film, they shape their own destiny. Also, they all save the life of their romantic interest, and at one point or another they have an offer of some sort of proposal of who their partner should be that they don't want. So actually, in a lot of ways, the three characters are really quite similar. So it's actually really interesting that in that 30 or 40 years since the first Disney princesses, Disney as an animator moved on so much to Princess really not doing much in the film to suddenly being lead characters in their film. So that's good, but also they're actually really, really different. So this is all my opinion. I better say that right now. Be a disclaimer, you can disagree with me as much as you want. So in a lot of ways they're really different. I've made a graph because I'm that cool and I obviously have far too much spare time. So I'll put it up just now. So along the horizontal, along the x-axis, you can see that there's sort of feminist values, and up and down on the y-axis you've got how healthy their relationship is, and so you can actually see really how different they are. With Ariel, I wouldn't say she's very feminist. She's not proud of who she is as a mermaid, and decides to mutilate her body and give up her gifts, her singing voice. She decides to give it up for a man that she's seen once. So that's why she's so low in the healthy relationship as well. She looks at him on a boat, thinks he's beautiful, and so then decides to be with him rather than her family. her family who really care about her. And as well for Eric, he also seems fairly shallow. It's just not a good relationship, I don't think. Belle, on the other hand, is incredibly feminist. She is one of the most well-read people in her town, and people consider her odd because of it, but she doesn't let that faze her. She still reads those books, and she's so intelligent. She is intelligent enough to see through Gaston. She is beautiful, but she doesn't choose to be defined by her beauty. She's compassionate and kind and brave. She gave up her freedom to save her dad, which I think is fantastic. In terms of the healthy relationship, well, I struggled with this, but at the end of the day, it started out as a borderline abusive relationship where she was scared of the beast and then kind of saw past it. She changed him. Oh, not the best role model as a good healthy relationship. And then last we have Pocahontas, who is again very feminist. She carves out really her own path and seeks to do what's best for her community and herself. And I think that's amazing. And her relationship with John Smith is incredibly healthy. It starts off as a friendship where they teach each other about each other's cultures and they learn from each other. She teaches John Smith so much, and he teaches her too. And ultimately their love it surpasses all race, and she's willing to give her life to save him and to stop war as well. You know, it's surviving through war. So I think Pocahontas has very, very quickly become my favourite Disney film as an adult. I have another graph here of all the other Disney princesses on it, just quickly. Again, because I have far too much time. So moving on, did this shape me? Did the fact that these 3 films that I probably devoured as a kid, and most other girls that I know devoured these films as children, watched them over and over. We know the songs word for word. We know the lines of the films word for word. And yet most of the women I know are fairly pro-feminist. And did these shape me? I think probably yes, in a way. I'll not go into body image. I'll share that BuzzFeed video again about the realistic waistlines on Disney princesses. But perhaps in terms of my expectations of relationships, maybe it did shape me. You know, maybe we go into relationships where we feel like we can change a man, like Belle, or maybe we expect relationships to have that kind of instant click that they did with Ariel or Pocahontas. But then perhaps children, we watch Disney films the way a lot of people or a lot of men would watch action films as kids. We know that they're unrealistic, they're escapism. One thing I do know is that as I've matured, as I've grown older, my taste in the Disney has matured. I'm not quite matured enough to actually get past Disney yet. Almost, but I always go back to Disney. Yeah. But I think one thing that's really important is to reflect on what we are watching and what we are experiencing in life, because everything affects us as children or as adults. And I think I'm going to leave you with my views on Disney and feminism and stuff as a Christian, because I've just admitted that actually probably watching lots of Disney has probably affected the way that I view relationships and the way that I view my role in society and as someone who shapes my own life or destiny. I think actually as a Christian it's really important to focus on and set our goals on things that aren't damaging or on things that are more healthy than what other people expect of you. So as a Christian, I would say it's really important to set our eyes on God. He made us with a purpose, made us with a plan that exceeds all our own expectations. And that's pretty exciting, that's pretty awesome. So again, like my first week, I'm going to leave you with a wee Bible verse. This is another encouraging one, and then that'll be me. So I'll just get the verse. So it goes like this. 1 John 3. How great is the love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God, and that is what we are. The reason the world does not know us is that it did not know him. Dear friends, now we are children of God, and what we will be has not yet been made known. But we know that when he appears we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. Everyone who has this hope in him purifies himself just as he is pure. And then it goes on to say, this is how we know who the children of God are and who aren't. Anyone who does not know what is right is not a child of God, nor is anyone who does not love his brother. I.e., this is the message you heard from the beginning. We should love one another. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to be probably talking more about those sort of things if I feel I've not done it justice. So be prepared for more Disney. Yeah, so like and comment. It was nice to chat to you guys. I'll see you again soon. Bye!